Hi, it's Barry here, and in this video I want to cover another couple of versions of reverse spinning. This originally came out of the teachings of Richard Bandler in the 90s. I trained with him in the mid-90s, and he was doing something called Neuro Hypnotic Repattering. And this is where this particular reverse spinning first came about. And it's a really, really cool way of changing people's feelings really, really quickly. And you can use it in so many different things. It doesn't require any setup. You can use it with emotional feelings. You can use it with physical feelings like pain. It's really, really useful. It's also useful if you're maybe out with your family and you're going on a trip and somebody gets seasick, because you can reverse the spin on the seasickness. It's just such a powerful, powerful way of using your neurology in a different way. And it's just so simple. So what you do is, again, like everything else, first step, associate them to the problem. That's what you need to do. So when and where do you get it? Obviously, if they're in pain and you're working with pain, they're associated right now. But if it's like a situation where whenever they, with their partner or their boss or their parent or whatever, they feel bad, then make sure you associate them to it. So find out when do they do it and get a specific context. And then you say, okay, so where does this bad feeling start in your body? So if we can imagine, if we draw, oh God, we're going to do my artwork now. I hate, my drawing is not exactly the best. You wouldn't believe I got art O level, would you? Okay, so here we go. We got Mr. Grumpy. And so we say, okay, so where does this feeling start in your body? So let's say they say it starts in my stomach. So you go, okay, so it starts in your stomach. Where does it spread to? And again, it goes back to how feelings work. Feelings are not static. They move. They have to move. Otherwise, we wouldn't notice them. We would just become acclimatized to them very, very quickly. We wouldn't notice them anymore. So feelings have to move. So you say, okay, so where does the feeling start? Oh, it starts in my stomach. Okay, where does it spread to? Oh, it goes up to my chest. Okay, so it goes up to your chest. Yeah, okay. So, and so we've got a path. So we say, okay, so you notice there's kind of like a path between those two things, yeah? And they go, yeah, okay, yeah, there's a path. Okay, what way is that path turning? Is it turning this way or is it turning that way? And they may have to stop and think about it. You may have to say to them, well, just use your finger. Find out which way is it spinning. Is it spinning this way or is it spinning that way? And let's say they say it's spinning clockwise. So you go, great, here's what I want you to do. I want you to mentally stop that, grab it and spin it in the other direction. Spin that path in the other direction. So now it's spinning anti-clockwise. And what I want you to do is I want you to change the colour to a much more pleasing colour. So it's a bright pink colour or something. Ask them, what would be a better colour? What would a colour be that would make it impossible for you to feel that old feeling? Or it'd be pink. Okay, so spin it anti-clockwise in a pink way. Just see it spinning all the way up that path, and add some sparkles into it. Make some like little sparkles in it so it sparkles, so you see that going. And what would it be like if you were to add a giggle to it? Just add a giggle to it. And as it spins out anti-clockwise, what would it be like if you saw those sparkles and you had that giggle? What would that be like? Yeah, and get them to do that. And now, as you keep spinning it in that way, I want you to think about your dad and tell me how's that different? And what you're doing then is you're associating them to the resource, yeah, by spinning it in the other way, adding sparkles, favourite colour, whatever. And then step 4 of the meta pattern, you're then getting them to think about the context, think about the trigger. So now, as you continue to spin it that way, with that giggle, with that pink colour, with the sparkles, now think about your father's face. Notice what you notice. Try hard in vain to get the feeling. So you see how that works? You're then associating those two things together. Basically, it's another way of collapsing an anchor. It follows the same thing that I've been talking about over and over and over again of the meta pattern, where you associate them to a problem, you dissociate them to the problem, you associate them to the resources, and then you associate the resources to the problem context. And then the final thing is then future pacing. Imagine what it would be like if you were to continue to do this, and like maybe in a week's from time you had a similar situation which would have happened in the past, you would have felt that old feeling. Now try hard in vain to get it. Is it there or has it gone? No, I can't do it anymore. Great. Imagine another time in the future, which if it had happened, you would have felt that old way. What happens now? So you're just future pacing. Again, test your work. Make sure you put them in the context where the problem occurs mentally and really test it and have them really try to get the old feeling back. Because the more you're doing that, the more you're installing the habit of doing it. It's really, really crucial to future pace your work and to do it that way. So that's one way of doing it. And this was the original way that Richard taught us back then, that the spin is in the path. Yeah, the spin is in the path as it goes up the body. Another way of doing it, which again Richard did a variation on this in a later training, is, in fact we don't really need the flip chart for this one, it's really simple. So again, you associate them to the context. Where do you feel the feeling? Oh, it's in my stomach. Okay, or in my chest, wherever it is. Okay, great. Which way is it spinning? It's spinning this way. Great. What I want you to do is I want you to mentally grab it and pull it out in front of you and then swap it over and start spinning it in the opposite direction and get them doing it. Get them to spin it in the opposite direction. Now, why do you get them to do that? Why would you get them to spin it themselves? Well, if you've watched the video when I talked about bilateral stimulation, there's loads and loads of nerve bundles in the hands, loads of them. If you then get them to use their hands while they're doing this, that's going to activate far more of the brain and the neurology than if they just sit there passively doing it. So I think it's a really good idea for them to grab this feeling out of them and mentally flip it and then spin it around faster and faster, faster and faster. Now, if that new feeling were a colour, what colour would it be? Oh, it'd be red. Great. Imagine spinning this red colour. Just add some sparkles to it. Spin it faster and faster and maybe add a giggle to it. Add a giggle to it. Faster and faster, faster and faster, faster and faster. And as you add a giggle to it, just feel how good that feels. Feel that great feeling. Feel it going stronger and stronger and stronger. That's right. And as you do that, now think of your father's face and notice how you feel. How's that different? Claps in the anchor again. So that's how you do it. This works really, 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 really well with pain. And I would suggest that when you work with pain, you can do it with other things, but definitely when you're working with pain, is the first thing you do is you make it worse. Why would you make it worse? Because this is pure Ericksonian stuff. Erickson would often make the problem worse before he made it better. Why would you do that? Well, because most people assume that they have no control over their problem, particularly with pain. If you ask someone who, you say to them, okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, where's the pain now? And they say, oh, it's a level 8. And you go, great, I want you to turn that down. They'll look at you and go, what are you, crazy? I can't turn my pain down. It's pain. I can't make it better. If I could do that, I wouldn't be bloody here, you idiot. So you can run into a bit of resistance with that. But if you make it worse first, then you are teaching them unconsciously that they can control it. So let's say, for example, they say, oh, it's so you elicit it and you say, okay, so on a scale of 0 to 10, where is it now? It's an 8. And you go, okay, and you say, okay, so what way is that feeling spinning? And they say, well, it's spinning this way. And you go, okay, what I want you to do, I want you to just spin it a little bit faster and make it worse. And notice, as you spin it faster, that makes the pain worse. Do you notice that? Oh, yeah. Okay, stop. Mentally grab that. Imagine pulling that out, giving it a different colour and then spinning it in the opposite direction. That's all right, spin it faster and faster, faster and faster, faster and faster, faster and faster. Spin it faster and faster, faster and faster. Add some giggle to it, add some sparkles to it. And as you do that, and then you go, great, okay. And then you can do a pattern interrupt like Carl would do. What's your telephone number backwards? Great, okay. Now, it was a level 8, where is it now? Well, yeah, it's about a 2, I suppose. It feels fine. Now, you could carry on and bring it right down, but for some things, sometimes people need to know that there's an issue there. But see how that works. It's changing this internal representation of that sensation. So sometimes make it worse before you make it better. It's a real good convincer for them, because if they can make it worse, they can make it better. So there you go. 2 fantastic, great examples of how you can use the reverse spin to create really profound change. I've used this with phobias, with anxiety, with fears, pain. I've used it with people with dental pain. You know, they've got really bad toothache and they're waiting to go to the dentist tomorrow. So I know they're going to go. I'm not going to just randomly take the pain away. They've got the appointment booked, and I just take the pain away from them until they get in the dentist chair. So really, really useful. You can also teach this to your clients as well. Really useful to teach them how to do this. I do this with weight loss clients, for example. Now, if you speak to most people who are overweight, what you'll find is that they eat at times when they feel a certain emotion. If people are busy and they're really happy and they're enjoying themselves, quite often they forget to eat. Other times people can be emotional or bored or whatever, and they start overeating. Well, what if you could teach them to control their own emotions? So what you do is you just have them record, okay, so when was the last time you felt really sad and whatever and did some comfort eating? Oh, last Friday. Okay, great. Okay, I want you to put yourself back there. So it's last Friday. Where are you? Oh, I'm at home. Everyone's out and I'm on my own. Okay, so you're at home and everyone's out and you're on your own. How do you feel? I just feel so bad and lonely. Okay, where does that feeling start? Well, it starts in my stomach. Okay. Now just imagine pulling that out and spinning it around the other direction. So you do the same thing. And then you teach them to do that. So from this moment on, if you find yourself at home alone and the thought of having something to eat pops in your mind because you're feeling bad or whatever, here's what you do. You take control of your feelings. Imagine how much weight you're going to lose when you can now take control of these emotions. So you use it as homework for them, as something they can do. And it's always, in my opinion, far, far better to give the client the control so that they can choose to make these changes. So there you go. 2 great ways of using the reverse spin to create profound change. So until the next video, I'll see you soon.